record on this computer. So if you're actually wondering, why are you all dressed up, Sheena, like this? Well, actually, we've got a conference tonight. So I'm also, I'm an independent consultant with an amazing company called Arbonne, and we have our global conference tonight. Now, we should have been in Vegas. So we decided to bring Vegas to our living room. So that's what we're doing tonight. So as soon as this webinar is off, I am literally going to Vegas. Well, in my head anyway. So what I'm offering at the end of this webinar is for you to have a one-to-one, and I'm hoping you get your goals sorted, understand why you can't achieve them, why you haven't achieved them before, and what's the one key thing that's literally going to make a difference in your life whenever you actually set your goal. You know that inner critic? Do you know that inner critic? Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about, and you're going to find out what that is literally all about. So thank you so much for coming. It's Sheena Kantar here. As if you didn't already know, that's why you're on here. And you know, the reason why I started to study with Bob Proctor was, it was just that, have you ever been told the lie that if you study hard, if you work hard, your life will be okay? And that's not what happened to me. So I had qualification after qualification. Then I, you know, had really good job. I worked really, really hard, and I became self-employed. And then being self-employed just opens you up to all the stuff that you were protected for in a job, doesn't it? Does anybody agree with that? You know, like, is anybody self-employed on here that it opens up doors, and then all of a sudden you hit like what we call a terror barrier, and you have to get yourself over and over and over. And as you're trying to get business in, you're trying to do the business, and how do you manage the two things at the same time? So a couple of years ago, I just literally went side, couldn't have worked any harder, couldn't have studied anymore, or had so literally being intelligent, or self-intelligent, I've got a lot of qualifications, doesn't actually get you results. So what actually does? So this is why I started to study with Bob, because I knew that Bob is literally the guy who's been doing this the longest. He's the nearest person to him. So for all of you who don't know Bob Proctor, watch The Secret. That's all I'm going to say. And then there's a new movie coming soon on the 24th of April. So watch that as well. It's all about the law of attraction. So I just knew that I needed to do something different. And Bob is like the next person to Bob, close to the amount of years that he's been working, is like Jack Canfield, if you know him. Like, and he's 10 years his junior. So this is who I'm mentored by. And it doesn't take you to get this, but I needed to learn the secret. What were the secrets to success? Now, even though this is part of a 12 lesson program, I'm giving you 3 of the key secrets in here. And so this is just the first to give you an idea about the G, P, and the S is why you're on here. But it's literally, I'm going to share then the next 3 days. I'm going to expand on the G, expand on the P, and expand on the S. There you go. I got it out. So how long have you wanted something in your life? How long have you wanted to make a change? Like, what are you waiting for? The right time? Never happens. The money? Never comes. To be less busy? Never happens. Yeah. Because where you are now is where you are now. And unless you change anything about you, you are going to be you again in 5 years' time, 10 years' time. Okay. So here's the thing. Just let me check my phone here, because normally when I get lots of messages, it's like, nobody can see you, Sheena, but obviously it's not about that. So what is it that you really, really want to do? Now let's just get serious here. I don't know how old you are that have popped onto this webinar, but let's just get serious. You know, I'm 50, or actually I just turned 51. So 51, okay? Now I knew at about the age of 47, oh my God, somebody told me the lie that to work 40 years, 40 hours a week, to earn 40% of what I was originally on, like, and I couldn't even survive on. If you're in debt now, if you're not getting results now, if you do not change something, you will be where you are in 5 years. Like, let's just get real. And look at you think, oh, well, it'll all be sorted by the time I'm 65 and I'm picking up my pension. So if you're anywhere around my age, you know, get real today. Do something different. Have a chat with me and help me point you in the right direction and give you some focus and clarity. Because here's the thing, a confused mind does absolutely nothing. And this is one of the first things that we're going to talk about. So literally, how long have you waited to do something? And is now the chance? Because, you know, in the rush to return to normal, what are you rushing back to? Is that what you came here to do? Is it? Whatever you're doing, you know, is that what you really came here to do, to wait for the weekend? Life's too short, isn't it? Stop waiting for the weekend. Stop waiting for those 2 weeks holidays that you get every year. Imagine, just imagine if you could go on holiday every month. I mean, I used to do that till recently. And like I say, we should have been doing a road trip in America at this moment in time. And to go away every month is just incredible. Like, wouldn't you love to do that? Why do you have to wait a whole year to go away? Yeah. How would you really want to spend your days? Like, write all these questions down. How would you really want to spend your days if you could design your most awesome day? Yeah. And then what would you give back to the world because you could get that? What would you do? Interesting questions. So I know that some of you are going through some hard times at this moment, and you know, we can create our own economy. And one of the things is, if you, it's the way that you actually view the world at this moment. So how do you view the world? Are you viewing the world that, like, this is happening to me? You know, I call it hiding behind the tombstones, which is your excuses. I woulda, coulda, shoulda, but because I'll try. I couldn't do it because it wouldn't happen. I would have done it, but do you find yourself saying that? I remember being said to me by Peggy McCall, Sheena, make excuses or make money. Make excuses or get results. So we can view the world that things are happening to us, but everything there is, law of polarity shows us that if there's a right, there's a left, there's an up and there's a down, and there's an inside and an outside. There's some opportunity here. Look for it. Talk to other people. We are co-creators. You will start to see different things and hear different conversations if you look for them. Just like if I say to you now, you know, like, there's white Mercedes everywhere on the road. Like, that's the car that you get whenever you get to Arbonne third level. You know, you get a white Mercedes. Now you're going to see a white Mercedes everywhere. Now try not to see that white Mercedes. Just try not to see it, okay? Because you're going to be seeing them everywhere. And you go, damn, I see that white Mercedes again. Damn that, Sheena. Yeah, that's going to be a little fun game. I've just put that in your head. And then whenever you see that white Mercedes, what I want you to think is, oh my goodness, I need to think differently. What could I do differently? Okay, so that's one way to view the world. The next bit is, you know, like, it happens by you. So you make things happen. And that's what most of us do. That's how you know, we're either in victim mode or we're making things happen, like one or the other. But here's the thing, that's exhausting, because we're using our will on the outside world, and it's hard work. Do you know the level that I want to get you to? Is I literally want the world happening for you. And if you can just stop being busy, just stop being busy for just a little bit of time, yeah, you might actually see what you need to see and hear what you need to hear and feel your body crying out for you to listen to it. Stop being busy for being busy's sake. And when you want something, you ask for it, you be in gratitude, and then you carry on with your day in gratitude, and you will watch these things come to you. Now, that may sound pie in the sky, but let me tell you, you are master creators right now. You are using the law of attraction right now. Tell me what your thoughts have been in the last week, and then tell me what's showing up in your life right now. Do your thoughts match your results? 100% they do. Now, you may say to me, but Sheena, no, I'm thinking this, and I'm being positive. But here's the thing, your body is the last thing to get the idea. And it is literally programmed, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But your body's the last thing. You can have a positive mindset, but come from lack. Yeah. And then that's just the best place to be. Everything is for my good. I'm not saying that I'm there all the time, but you know what? It's just because we literally bounce up and down between these. Sometimes I go into victim mode and it's just like, oh, why is this happening to me? And then I remember and then I work my way back up again. So we have a default reaction, but how long do you stay down? You know, or do you get straight back up again and just keep trying? Like walk, we're walking, we're learning how to walk again, but this is an emotional walking this time. So can you just imagine, so this is the happiness wheel on here. Could you just imagine literally having a 10 out of 10? If you've not seen this, type it into Google. So make some notes on this. I do hope you've got your pen and paper here. So, you know, if you could literally have a 10 out of 10 in all of these areas here, in your business, in your finances, in your home life, like you're the nucleus at the center of this wheel. So the center of you is moving out to to you, to everything that's happening in your life. What are you doing inside here? This is so key, people. This is so key. Yeah. Really, truly understand this. And when you truly know who you are and your confidence just soars like that, you'll be a 10 out of 10 in everything. And the confidence to have everything that you want in this life as well, because you're at the center of everything. Now, where's this information coming from? So, you know, the people in this screen here, you hope you all recognize Bob Proctor there, and hope you all recognize me there as well. But then we started off with Andrew Carnegie, who literally asked Earl Napoleon Hill to go out and interview all the people who were rich, and for 20 years, and he didn't get paid. Like, would you do that? I'm not sure I would do that, but we've got to stop thinking, you know, literally that we're going to get paid for every hour that we do, because then we'll always be stuck there. Okay, what we want is that, you know, there's going to be a period of time where you work for nothing, and then there's a bit of time where you sort of get paid for what you do, but then this time here you get like overpaid. Yeah. And it's all about service and service. So Napoleon Hill wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. Go and read it. Yeah, awesome book. And then the next guy, Earl Nightingale, he was really one of the first guys who took all this personal development stuff out there and really, you know, taught it, brought it to the world, and had those little CDs, as they called them. Not CDs, obviously it wasn't. It was little, they call them, not playing, discs. That's it. See, it's so long ago. And yes, that's how I started. What was your first record? If there's anybody old enough on here to actually know about records. So yes, those like vinyl records, you know. So actually, what was just tell me in the chat box or whatever, what was the first record you bought? Mine was, I just need to check this phone because there's a lot of conversation going on. Yes. What was that? Mine was You to Me Are Everything by Lionel Richie. So how hilarious is that? And I remember buying it. And then my first album was Paul Young. So who actually, come on, let's see, ABBA Super Trooper. You're showing your age, Heidi. That's awesome. Nobody else wants to share. So listen, if you're on Facebook and you're seeing this, start sharing. What was your first record, LP, whatever? So yeah, we've got a bit of Lionel Richie and ABBA going on there, so it's no problem. So listen, Napoleon Hill, he literally wrote the book, The Think and Grow Rich, but then here's the next one that he wrote. It was Outwitting the Devil. Now, if you've not read that, so out of 25,000 people, 500 of them were the rich ones, but what was the other 24,500 people doing? Yeah, they were literally, oh, here comes the cat coming in here. Excuse me. She likes to come in and see what's going on. So that was the other. Thank you, Kat. Here you go. This is Tizzy, by the way, who wanted to come in the middle of this. Tizzy for being there. So yeah, it was Outwitting the Devil. And in Outwitting the Devil, that's where it was the other 24,500 people. And it's a very interesting read. So I recommend you actually have a look at that one as well. So what results did Bob get? Bob literally had taken, he was earning 4,000 and he actually owed 6,000. So that's where he started. And he wanted to be happy, healthy, and wealthy. What happened that he actually in 3 years turned over 1 million? Yeah. What happened in that time? How did he actually do that? How does a person who literally went to high school for 2 months and then literally didn't have any qualifications, how does somebody do that? And we've got people who literally, who've actually, brought some of that to us. And it's like this girl here, Kim, literally in 3 years, she was earning 35,000 and then within 3 years earning 1 million. Now, how do we actually do that? And that's what we're literally going to talk about in here. So results always tell the truth. So I was speaking to somebody recently and they said, I've done this course and it was brilliant. I'm asking about the courses. They're saying it's brilliant, and I had loads of courses like that as well. And then I just go, but what are your results telling you? So I don't care how many courses you've been on and what you think you know. That was the biggest barrier to me, was that I thought I knew everything because I had all the intellect here. And it's not this, it's driving the results. Let me tell you, it is the vibration in your body. It is your heart. It is what is truly coming from your body that is actually giving you results. So as I said to you before, you could have a positive mindset, even abundant mindset, but look at your results. If they're not what they should be, you know that there's something stopping you. And what is that? So what is a barrier to you getting results? What do you think it is? What is it that's stopping you? So literally put some stuff in the chat, if you're on live, literally put it in there, and literally tell me, what do you think is a barrier to you getting results? And what I'll do is I'll make sure that I come through and answer everybody at the end of this. But what is a barrier to you getting results? What do you think it could be? And remember, your results are your responsibility. But what is your because? What is your but? What is your would have, could have, should have? What do you think's holding you back? What would happen, incidentally, if we could eradicate all that? What if we could? What if you could? What if I could help you get rid of all those barriers to your results? What would that mean to you? If I could eradicate procrastination, if I could help you eradicate fear and help you eradicate overwhelm and worry, what would that mean to you? And how long are you going to wait to do something about it? How long are you going to wait? So these times, where are we? Remember, and I love this, quote from Napoleon Hill, remember too that all who succeed in life get off to a bad start and pass through many heartbreaking struggles before they arrive. The turning point in the lives of those who succeed usually comes at some moment of crisis through which they are introduced to their other selves. Wow. And and I know that I didn't get here for not having any problems in my life. At 51, I could go through quite a few lists of them, but I won't bother. And I know that you've got them as well. I know that you have your stories and I understand them. And I'd love to help you break through them and show you the other side of your stories and show you the other side of you. I'd really love to help do that. Will you let me? So one of the things that, we need to bring first of all is calmness of mind. And so I'm going to share Serenity again on this, to an email to everybody who's attended and also on the group here. Because when we have, calmness of mind, if you think of your life as like a triangle, and here's the Shard from the, in London that's here, simply because it's a triangle, it's a great building, used to work in there. And if you're at the bottom here, you've just got everybody milling around and you're milling around in your problems and everything. But when you get to the top, there's not that many people at the top. And that's whenever you can rest. Yeah. That's whenever you can breathe and just literally Well, you can just breathe up there and watch, and you can see where you need to go. But here's the thing, other people can see you as well. So that's why we need the calmness of mind. And that's what one of the gifts that I'm going to share with you is, just to make sure that you listen to that. Bob Proctor actually, reading that article, Serenity, over and over and over. So this, we come to the first G on here. Okay, so it's all about your goals. And it's not the normal setting of goals here. Now remember, everything that I talk about here, this is an overview. You'll still have lots to actually come from, and I would have your one-to-one directly after this. So get your pen and paper, and then spend time after this or tonight before you go to bed, and literally start to think about these, and think about them in the way I'm explaining them now, okay? So don't wait for the next masterclass. Get on a one-to-one and then use the next masterclass to actually help you elaborate and to understand a little bit more. Okay, so this is where you're thinking on. So say we have we've got frequency and vibrations going on, just like your phone. If you don't dial the correct number, I can't get hold of you. So everything has its own frequency, and you have your own frequency, and your problems and your successes have their own frequency as well, okay? So if you're thinking from this level, and this is where your results are, and you keep thinking from this level, we just go round and round and round in circles. Have you found that? Have you found that you've got the same pattern, just repeating? Why am I doing this again? Why is this happening to me again? Boom. You haven't changed your frequency. Yeah. You haven't changed your vibration. You're thinking from the same frequency, so you get problems related to that frequency. So you think from that frequency, you get do you get the idea? Is there a light bulb moment going off in anybody here? Just say yes down in the group, whether you're watching the replay or whatever. If you had a light bulb moment, just write, yes, light bulb. Yeah, that's why you're getting the same results, because you haven't shifted your frequency. You're phoning the same number over and over again, trying to get somebody else. How hilarious that is. But that's what we do in life as well. Did you realize that? But here's the thing, I want you to set a goal on a different frequency. Do you set your goals on a different frequency? Do you? Or do you keep them on the same, excuse me, on the same frequency? And it needs to take a decision to actually get there. But here's the thing, you make a decision, right, I'm going up here. That's it, I'm definitely going up here. This is where I'm going. And you hold it in your head and it feels really good. And then life happens and boom, you start to think from down here again. That's why your goals don't come in. We need to have really big goals and draws that make us want to make that committed decision, to make them happen regardless. What do you truly want? You see, that's what I have found, is that, if you were to ask 9 out of 10 people walking down the street, do they have a goal? Some people might say, I'm happy, but that's like saying, well, I want food. Now, if I go into Tesco's and just stand at the door and say, I want food, what am I going to get? Like the universe, okay, happy. It can bring you lots of different things, but then sometimes it's going on what you're feeling. And so if you're feeling sad, then it'll bring you sad. And then all of a sudden you want to be happy. So then you get a bit of happiness. So don't you ever notice that you get sort of happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, because we're relying on the outside world. So what is your goal? What would you truly, 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 truly desire to have happen? What is that? Well, this is where the paradigm shift needs to happen. And what's a paradigm? I'll tell you in a minute. But here's the thing that I want to actually tell you is that, you've got to literally think from up here and not from down here. Can you do that? Can you act as if? Can you? For how long? 5 minutes? A minute? What does it feel like to be a millionaire? Dr. Busuli, Tina, why would I want to be a millionaire? I don't know why, because then you wouldn't have to look at your bills again. And maybe you could help somebody else out. And maybe you could build that lovely house for your great granny or something who's living in a shambles. I don't know. What else could you do with money except spend it on yourself? Who else would benefit if you did something amazing? Who else would benefit? You know, I love the first chapter in The Science of Getting Rich, because actually what it says is it's selfish not to be rich, because you're just making yourself like a miser's chest. You've got all these talents and abilities, and all you're doing is looking after your bills and looking after yourself. Like, I just need this and I just need that. But what about the rest of the world? You've been given some amazing talents. What are you doing with them? You know, the graveyard is full of people who've died with the music still in their souls. And we're playing a tune all day, every day. What's your tune? Now, we don't want it to be too high all the time, because that would absolutely kill us, wouldn't it? You know, but we don't want it to be low. We want to have a bit of a rhythm going. What's your rhythm? What's your music station? What are you playing? So this is where we need the paradigm shift. So yes, that's the P. So we've got the goals. Now we want the P for paradigms. Paradigms, a mental program, most exclusive control over your habitual behavior. And most of your behavior is habitual. 98% of what you do is habit. You have 60,000 thoughts in a day. Tell me what was new today than you didn't think yesterday. Was there anything? What about last year? What about the year before? What about 5 years ago? What new thought did you have today? Imagine just one new thought. It could be like a kaleidoscope effect in your body, couldn't it? Now, here's the thing. Where did these paradigms actually come from? You know, what happens is, whenever we're a baby, is that we literally get programmed. So we arrive in what I would call like the hardware. And so you were given this body, which is already pre-programmed with all your aunties and uncles' DNA. So you've picked up already certain vibrations that have come into your body. You're in your mother's womb. What's she going through? Like, what did your family, just have a think about your family's roots and your family's heritage and your family's culture. Is that a good sign? Is that what you want? Or do you want to make it bigger and better and leave a legacy for yourself? Have a think about your family's culture. That's what you're programmed with. If you don't change it, I will bet you my last dollar that you will end up exactly like the rest of them. People think we start our 20s thinking we're going to change the world, and then slowly but surely we get indoctrinated and controlled, and, you know, do this because people laugh at us, and so we don't want people to laugh at us, so we conform. Wow, what have you conformed to? So then we have our software, which is our mind, you know, and then that's programmed by our parents, by our brothers and sisters, by our friends in school. As we go through life, we even program it ourselves. We have the same story going over and over again, wondering why nothing ever good happens to us or whatever, you know. So whenever you're around young children, please, please, please think about what you're feeling and not just what you're saying, because it's the vibration the children are picking up on. So if you talk about money, even if you don't even use the word, but that's the vibration you've got is of lack, then that's what the child is starting to get programmed over and over and over again. And it affects our self-image. It affects the child's self-image. It has affected your self-image. More about that after. It's not all doom and gloom, don't worry. This is where you need to make the committed decision. And what is a committed decision? It's shutting the door and throwing away the key. It is walking through that door and going, I'm not going back. It's not, well, let me try it. Can't use that word either, try. You've got to do it. You don't try to live, do you? You're either alive or you're dead. So don't try to do something, do it. Do you know what try is? Try is just so that you give yourself an excuse for failing. Now, why would you do that? You can never use that word again. Now try, can you? Just like the white Mercedes, you're not going to say, every time you think of the word try, you're going to think, what would Sheena say to that? Yeah, it's like Sheena coming along and giving you a little slap. Okay, so never use that word. When people use that word with me, I'll try and make it. They've just told me they're not coming. I don't fight back. I don't just go, oh, you just told me you're not coming. That's fine. You know, you make your own decision, but don't fool yourself, because you have not fooled me. A committed decision. Now, most people were not taught how to make decisions. We make decisions. I'll be happy when this happens, then I'll do this when I've got more money. We'll have a baby when. Let me tell you, people, it just doesn't happen. Successful people make decisions and then the things happen. Now, there's a whole process that goes in along with that, and we teach you and we take you through that over a 12-week program. Because here's the thing, do you know what? If you could change this by reading a book, by listening to this webinar, by even watching Bob Proctor videos on YouTube, if you think for 1 minute that you're going to change your life by doing that, you've not invested in yourself. I did all that. I did it all. I had the qualifications. I studied. I tried to study Bob for free. I tried to do the thinking into results for free. But I didn't have the support. I didn't have the mentorship. I didn't have the accountability groups. I didn't have that constant backup and understand exactly what it takes to change a paradigm. And there's one ultimate paradigm to change. And there's no point in me telling you it now because you wouldn't understand it. But when you find the secret to that one paradigm that you can change, everything in your life will change. But here's the thing, there's a load of stuff that we can give you for free over and over and over again. But why doesn't it work? I've read about 700 books. Yeah, if reading a book was the answer, we'd all be rich, wouldn't we? We'd all have what we want. So what is it? Got to shift the paradigm. I'm telling you, that's it. Got to shift the paradigm. There's 2 ways to shift the paradigm and an emotional impact. Constant spaced repetition. So constant spaced repetition, that's how your habit was formed. Your habits, your thoughts turn into habits. Your habits turn into beliefs. You have got such deep rooted beliefs that you don't even know about, let me tell you, because I started to hear that inner voice as all the rubbish started to clear. And I started to listen to my paradigms, listen to my programming. Oh my goodness. Has anybody got that inner critic? Well, does anybody have that inner critic? Of course you do. Of course you do. What's that inner critic saying to you? Do you know what? I probably know, because it said the same to me. Have you heard the words, I'm not worthy? You're not good enough. You should have done better. You could have done better. Who do you think you are? Oh God, they all think that I'm this, that, and the other, but I'm not. I'm not like that. I'm an imposter. Like, there's even worse things that my inner critic said to me, and I couldn't hear them. Now, you see, what we want is not more knowledge to get rid of these paradigms. Again, if it was more knowledge, I'd have shifted this a long time ago. It's not more knowledge. It's about drawing out the wisdom within you. Now, how do we do that? And you see, that's why I work with people for 6 months to a year. Because when we shift a paradigm, when you shift a paradigm, you don't go back. How many times have you had something done and then you think you've got it and you had your aha moment and that's it? And then 3 months later, you're still getting the same results. You got short-term results. Your relationship got better, didn't it, for 3 months? You know I'm talking to you. Your relationship got better for 3 months and then it all went south again. Oh, your money raised for 3 months and then it all went south again. What is it about that 3-month thing? That's where my life used to be. And I don't have that anymore. And I don't want it anymore. And I will never go back there anymore. Is that what you want? I'd love to help you. So, what's that inner critic? Guys, there is a way out. There is a way out, and something you can change today. Something you can start at least to work on today. And so what that is your self-image. So, you know, the way we've got 2 self-images. We've got the one that we show to the world, and we've got the inner one. Now, people think it's the outer one's the imposter. Don't you feel good? Like, look at the lion in this picture. Don't you feel good? being the lion. That's your true self. If it feels good, it's true. The inner critic, this little one, this is the liar, this is the fibber, this is the imposter. That inner critic is your inner self-image. And that's the one that's driving results. That's the imposter. And it feels horrible, doesn't it? It feels horrible. That's the one that's driving results. We need to change our self-image. Okay, so let me just explain to you a bit more about self-image. So it's like a cybernetic instrument, you know, like your heat dialing in the in your house. Okay, so say, you know, you've set it to 70 degrees. I need to move my little picture here so I'm not in the way. And then somebody opens the door and it goes to 65. Now, Wolfgang's my partner. Wolfgang, as if you didn't know, Wolfgang and I literally have this, like, he likes it cooler and I like it warmer. So he would come and open the door and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's freezing. And so we have this thing, and like the top of the house is boiling and the bottom of the house isn't quite so much. And I work in the bottom of the house and he works in the top. So he's always saying it, how warm it is up there, and complaining to me. But so he'll come and open the door and then I'll be like, are you kidding me? But actually, luckily, I don't actually have to do anything about it because we've set the heating that it will come back on again and pop its way back up until it gets to 70 and then it switches off again. This is literally what happens, okay, to our bodies. Like, let's call it a financial thermostat, okay? So you think you earn some money, especially if you're, you know, an entrepreneur and you earn some money and then you think, yes, I'm doing really well. And then you earn some more and you go, oh my God, I've cracked it now. And then it goes down there. Does anybody have that experience? You know, you're going, yay, no, yay, no. And you just think, well, that's just the entrepreneurial journey. No, it's not. That's what you've been called to believe in. And just like, that's just the way it goes. It's not. And if you're in corporate and you think that a 5% rise or a 10% rise, I mean, who actually gets 10% rises anyway? That is what you've been programmed to think, that that is just normal. That's not, that's what the masses have. You can have more. What about 100% rise? What about taking your annual salary and making it your monthly salary? How would your life be different if you did that? How would your life be different? I want you to think about that. Really think about, how would you live your life if you could take your annual income and make it your monthly income? But here's the thing. We need to change this cybernetic instrument that's going on here. I like just moving myself across the screen here. It's kind of fun. So let's give another description of it. So a plane, it's going along from Chicago to Paris and it's following its little journey, and then it deviates off its flight path. And so literally, cybernetic system is activated, boom, it puts it right back on that thing. This is what's going to happen in your life as well when you're trying to reach a goal. You know, if you set your goal up here, you will get negative feedback the whole way up. But some people think, oh God, look, I got a no. Oh God, I got a no. No, that was negative feedback to tell you, just get on the right path. That's what it's doing to you. So if you set your goal up there or you set your goal here, it doesn't really matter. You may as well, why look for a penny when you could have a million? Yeah, you're going to have the same thing happen. So, but you don't know that you've got this cybernetic mechanism going on, do you? Like, that's what happens. Okay, so this is, you know, Bob just loves this diagram, the stick person, and I use this all the time whenever I'm gaining clarity in my mind. So obviously we do not look like this, but there you go. This is the diagram we've got, and this is magic. This is the secret genie, and we really go into depth in this with the path to agreement and everything in the 6-month program with myself. It's called Thinking into Results, incidentally. So we've got the conscious mind and we've got the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is like 2% of what's going on. And what we're trying to do is organize the whole world and control everybody else and control a job and control our money and control our eating and control our weight with a 2%. Actually, it's a 98% doing stuff. But you think you're doing all the controlling. Got a whole other story on that one as well. We'll tell you that next time. So your self-image is in your subconscious mind. That's your inner critic, that little person in there, okay? So your actions, because what it does is this literally sets up a vibration in your body and it causes you then to take some action. So if you're not feeling confident, you may not take confident actions forward, okay? But that's what's controlling your results. We need to change something so we don't go around in that circle over and over again. So, as we said before, your self-image is a cybernetic instrument. And we've got the subconscious mind. So let's just like take an idea that we're going to, that we want to lose some weight. So you've been overweight most of your life, maybe. Okay. And that's what's programmed in. That's the program you've got. It's just an overweight program. Okay. So you're going to diet. That's it. This time I'm losing the weight. I'm going to lose the weight. Yeah. Isn't that funny? It happens over 3 months as well, doesn't it? And then you put it all back on again. And then you lose it for 3 months and then you put it all back on again. Anybody relate to that? I used to really good. I'm like a 6 month person, but I understand what's going on here. I've got my own little trick for that. So you literally take the action to lose weight and you start to lose weight. And then you just go, oh my God, I'm doing it. I've lost all my weight. But remember, your self-image is a cybernetic instrument. And it literally automatically corrects course. And the weight that was lost is found. I know you all relate to this. I know you do. But this isn't just about diet. This is also about money as well. It's also about relationships. It's to do with everything in your life. You have your self-image as a cybernetic instrument that is automatically controlling things. And you call it self-sabotage. You've really got nothing to do with it. It's already programmed in with you. And you need to change that program. That's what's going to do it. So now you're aware of that you have a self-image and you're aware of that inner critic is that inner self-image and that's the one driving results. Now you can start to do something about it. Yeah. Actually, there's a good book there, Cybernetics. You might want to read that. So let me say that again. Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Really, really good book. You can pause the video or whatever if you're watching this in a replay. So that's it, guys. Your GPS to success. That's a whistle-stop tour. So your goals, what I want you to do, so have a one-to-one with me. Just literally text it. You will see it at the end of this presentation. I'll tell you in a minute. Your goals. Tell me what your big goal would be. I mean, dream big. Don't dream how to get there. That's not dreaming. I want you to think big, 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 big goals. Something that's a fantasy, something that you wouldn't even dream of. How the heck would I get there? Can you let yourself go? That's the first little test for you. But you must be clear as to what you want. I've got so many examples of people who've literally got what they want and they're seeing things coming through. There's been a girl who's literally, she wanted to get pregnant. She got pregnant. Now, I am not saying that I've done anything or that Thinking Into Results has done anything. She did it all. Okay. There's other people who've taken their annual salary and made it their monthly salary. There's other people who've literally, like I said, with Kim, gone to over 1 million. And in fact, one lad went from 100,000 to 1 million within 6 weeks. What would you really, really love to see? Yeah. What is that? Now that's so even if you had a smaller goal and you're not reaching it now, like how to reach it. But why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? You know how to do it, but you're not doing it. Or you're doing everything that takes you away from what you need to do. You know that, don't you? So It's something in there. That's your paradigms. Have a look at your culture. Have a look at where you've come from. Have a look at your whole life. See how you're being programmed. How do you want to be programmed? Because then that's the next thing is you look at your self-image and you go, who am I? Now here's the thing. If it's got to be, it's got to be me. So I better know who me is. And I'm not the me I think I am. I'm not the me you think I am. I am the me I think you think I am. What do you bring into the table? Who are you literally changing your ways for relative to being a mother, father, son, daughter, friend, boss, employee? Like, who are you? When you know who you truly are, wow, you can move mountains. And these are the first three things to literally get your head around. So, what are you going to do differently based on this webinar here? So many people come here, they make notes and they never look at their notes again. You look at your notes. What excuses are you making? And you may have lots of good excuses, but is that getting you anywhere? You may be able to justify them, be able to explain them, and you may be able to argue for all those limitations. But let me ask you, where's it getting you? Do you like where you are now? If you don't, do something different. Have a chat with me. Write the notes on this. Think about what your goals are. Think about what your paradigms could be and what's your self-image. Who do you want to be? Imagine if we literally got rid of the procrastination. Like that alone. How much would you achieve? Yeah. So I put on here, text 121 to this number. So if you can't say it, it's 0044 7494 592 or 46. Text that to me and I'll give you a 20-minute, literally clarity and focus call and really help you sort out what it is that you really, really want. So that is basically it. Are you going to do something different? Are you? If anybody wants to share anything, I'm just going to sit here and look at the screen for the next 2 minutes. Does anybody have any questions that they would literally like to ask or to share anything? One of the biggest things is, if you're watching this, live or you're in the chat box or whatever, in my group Stir It Up, and if you're not in Stir It Up, then make sure you get into Stir It Up because that's where the master classes are. So for those of you who've turned up on webinar, then you will get an email and I will tell you what the Facebook group is, because that's where the 3 other hours are actually going to be. And we go deeper diving into goals, and we go deeper diving into paradigms, and we go deeper diving into the self-image. So this was just a whistle stop tour here. Put in the chat box, what are you going to do differently? Will you make that call? I can hear my phone actually down there. It's on the floor now because of the cat. There you go. Because of the cat. It was my fault because I chucked her off and I chucked her with the phone as well. So listen, have an awesome, awesome evening. And yeah, I will catch up with every single one of you at some stage. And look out for more of these webinars, because it doesn't matter how many times. It's repetition is the key. Repetition is the key. Repetition is the key. Yeah. Do you get it? You may hear something differently every time you listen to these webinars. So I'm going to love you and leave you and have an awesome night. And I'm getting ready for my party in literally 5 minutes time. Have an awesome time. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye. I'm sure I did click end meeting. but it's still up here. Thank you. Enjoy your evening. Thank you, Heidi.